All right, we ready?
Ready?
I don't know if I should have my glasses on or off.
On.
On, off, on, off,
On.
on. Okay. Do I look cooler with my glasses on?
Interesting.
You're probably the first person that's ever said that.
Probs. So don't take my word for it.
All right, just bring that mic close to you. Bring it close to you rather than you having to be close to it. Cool. Hey guys, and welcome to the RAW Barbell Club podcast. I'm your host, coach, and all-around good guy, Andy. Today I'm here with Yannick Mifsud from Shred Fitness. Woo!
Yay!
How you doing, man?
Good. You?
Yeah, good. I thought we'd just jump straight in. Today, I guess we had a draft New South Wales calendar come out.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, New South Wales weightlifters and coaches and clubs,
Yeah.
that's pretty exciting to start planning our year properly.
Yep.
Have you started planning any big comps or what you're planning on doing?
A little bit. So next year we're probably going to have a fair few additions to our weightlifting team.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And yeah, it's going to be an important time for me now because I need to plan what lifters are doing what competitions. So we've got a couple lifters that are going on to a few years now of competitive weightlifting. So I think it's now time for some of them to be a little bit smarter with what competitions they do and really sort of programming to peak for the important ones.
Do you know what the final qualification date is for like nationals and Arafura and stuff? I know we talked about it last
it's
time.
usually 3 months before.
Okay, so when are those comps?
So nationals is in June, right? Or July.
Something like that.
It's a little earlier this year. Could even be a little bit earlier than that.
Oh, here, I got it here. So the Arafura closing date is 3rd of February, and
That's when entries close?
that's
Or
it just says
qualification?
qualification closing date.
Okay.
And then the nationals closing date is 6th of May.
Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah,
Is that
so
right?
Yeah, so it's roughly 3 months. Roughly 3 months before the competition.
Yeah, which is cool because we have so many comps now. So if you're not, earlier I was actually worried that if you weren't close to those comps, you weren't going to be able to make it. But we've got so many comps on the New South Wales calendar that you can qualify for. Our first comp is actually in January.
Yeah.
At Hills, which
Yep.
is close by to both of us. So that's
think,
really cool.
I think we've got a cool schedule. So, like, there's not as many club competitions this year,
Yeah.
but there's enough, if that makes sense. But there's like a lot going on this year. Well, this coming year, 7 like big competitions for those that qualify. I think I calculated the other day. So we've now got nationals.
Yeah.
We've got the juniors and teens are sort of split up now. So we've got 2 separate nationals events for them.
Yeah.
Masters nationals, Arafura games. For New South Wales, we have the New South Wales versus ACT, Australian Open. And then we've kind of got like our Ralph Cashman and Memorial Day comps again this year too. So I think a pretty cool calendar coming up this year.
Oh, cool. High Reps is doing a comp.
Mm.
That's close by to us as well.
Yep. We've got 2. So Shred has 2 comps.
Yeah, one in March and then one at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, so I've split them up nicely. Yeah, so I think there's plenty happening if you're a New South Wales weightlifter.
That's cool. I do. It does look better. In the past, like we've had comps that are like on Saturday there's a comp at Burwood, and then on Sunday there's a comp at your place.
Yeah.
And it was a bit much. So
Too much
it's a
last
good
year.
spread. Obviously, it would be nice if Raw was holding some comps, but I was too lazy.
Pussy there.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
to
but I also
set
think
up one of those.
there's a good amount of comps there. I'm happy with that schedule when I saw it. And then if you're sort of your higher, elite weight lifters, we've got stuff like Oceanias again, Pacific Games, Worlds for
Just
anyone.
bring that mic close to you.
Worlds for anyone that qualifies.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like plenty happening this year coming.
I mean, as a fan of the sport, I like to look at those, but just where my lifters are at, I tend to just gloss over it all the time.
Yeah, that's a fair. I mean, unless you have anyone who's really in contention, it's like sort of not really that much point in paying attention to those dates, right?
And for all those guys, I hope they've put their atoms and stuff in, because I know that's a important thing that we have to deal with.
Yep. That's
So,
the sport.
Yeah, that's a sport. A couple of people ruin it for all of us by making us have to do that kind of stuff, right?
Couple or heaps. Yeah. So yeah, that is important, but probably now's the smart time for all athletes and coaches to put their heads together and start deciding where they're heading for the year. And I think that's really important as you get better. You can't maintain that high level all year round, and you really need to pick what's important for you and make it count.
For you and your athletes, I guess, what are the most important? What are you guys doing this year?
So the plan, if it works out for me and Lady, is Arafura Games, Nationals, and possibly Australian Open. The goal for a couple others will be to qualify for Nationals.
So that's like Verity and stuff.
Yeah, so Verity's like very close. So we're hoping, fingers crossed we get her qualified early enough that we can then focus on getting her ready for Nationals. Corey is another one who's like not too far off the mark for Nationals. Matt Henry, another one, quite close for Nationals. So
Matt the Rock Henry.
Matt the Rock Henry. Yeah, so we'll be obviously looking at those. Deacon, still very young, so we're kind of more just keeping his consistency up and just trying to get him better every comp that he gets to, even if it's just a kilo or two.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not missing anyone out. Obviously, we have our Masters lifters, who they've got their sites. They've already booked Darwin for the Masters Nationals.
Really?
Yeah. So Christina, Jody, we've got Kat, Elena, Carlene, and potentially to Hawaii if that's where it's going to be, the World Cup.
The Masters Rim one? Is that the one I went to?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
The one that was in China last?
I think so, yeah.
That was a really cool comp.
Yeah,
and Hawaii would be
Hawaii would be
amazing.
sick. So I'll definitely be putting my money aside for that.
I would love to go to Hawaii.
Hawaii's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to Hawaii once before, but I would love to go again.
Yeah, for sure. Me
Especially
too.
to go watch some lifting there. Beach, watch some lifting,
Cocktails.
hikes.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah. Tell us about your shred comp, because last time you were in here, we were like 2 days before it.
Oh, yeah.
I promised I would get that podcast episode out, and I did.
And you did.
Right before that comp.
That's right, yeah. And that worked out well. It was a good comp, actually. Very busy comp. Very busy weekend and month for us.
Yeah, why was it busy?
We had our Christmas party the night before.
Was that smart?
No, it wasn't smart. But look, none of our lifters were kind of aiming for anything. It was just a competition to go and
What about,
do.
weren't there some lifters that were aiming to lift that didn't
Yeah.
end up lifting?
So some lifters were very cocky on their ability to back up after drinking, and turns out they are not.
Name and shame them, man.
Seriously.
Name and shame them, because I came to watch.
Verity Park. Damn it, man. What the hell? So, turns up and goes home. Doesn't even turn up to weigh in. We had Jody not turn up. Christina was ill, but not self-inflicted. She was just ill. So that's, that happens. But let's talk about Matt Henry, who goes 6 from 6, 3 PBs, his best performance ever, and he was an absolute mess.
Yeah,
Like,
from what Wayne and stuff told me, he was like just like crazy, sweating up everywhere, and
so he like finished up later than us because he got home and his like brothers and stuff were drinking. So he like continued on with them at 5 o'clock in the morning, went to bed. I don't know how he did it. I had no idea that it was actually that bad until he told me afterwards. But he pulls out 3 PB, so snatch PB, comp total, and clean and jerk PB.
what a legend.
Absolute legend.
And of course, you would
Yeah.
never condone that behavior.
No,
right?
I would not condone that behavior. That is not what was meant to happen at all. But sometimes you got to have fun, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like even elite athletes have had these stories, you know. So like whatever.
And we're all just here for the fun, right?
Yeah. So actually, it leads me into a story. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of like George Best.
No.
So
Tell
he
me
was
about
like
him.
one of the greatest football players, but also known to be a bit of a womanizer,
Yeah.
as you do when you're that good at something. Anyway, so in an interview, he was asked how close to kickoff had he slept with a woman. And he sits there and goes quiet for a bit and goes, does halftime count?
Wow.
And mind you, he was drunk. So we're talking an elite professional footballer. Now this is like a long time ago, but just a funny story, I guess, about athletes doing themselves some mishaps before sporting events.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a little too much, right?
Yeah, that's a bit crazy. But, you know, athletes are humans too, right? So,
Well, they can be.
can be.
Some of them are robots. I
People
think.
do silly things at work, so athletes do silly things at games, right?
Now you've put a lot of shit on your athletes, but like you were no better, right? Didn't you have to go lie down upstairs?
Yeah,
while
I had
cooked
to
your
pull
barbecue for
myself
you?
together. It was, yeah, it got a bit wild. On Saturday night, I opened up the gym for Wayne and was just like, had to have a lay down and recover
I saw
and
you.
stay away from humans for about half an hour.
I was driving down the road and I saw you walking down the street to obviously get your morning coffee.
You mean stumbling?
You weren't stumbling, but you did not look like you were in a good way.
Nah.
You did not look like you wanted to be there.
No, I really wasn't. I woke up in a terrible way. I think it was like rushed, so I had to get up. Okay, so what happened was, we may as well tell the whole story. I woke up and I thought I was awake, so I like took my alarm off because I woke up about 2 hours early, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just, get up, have a shower. Anyway, I sat down and just did my little social media scroll through and fell asleep while I was doing that, and then woke up 10 minutes before I had to leave. Well, actually, probably when I had to leave. So I called an Uber to get me to the gym on time, and just
Because
made it.
You didn't have your car.
Well, I was in no state to drive, and I had no car, but yeah. So no, I don't condone that behaviour either for a coach, but like I wouldn't have done it if it was important. That's for sure.
Well, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm any better because I did the same thing for one of our comms once.
Yeah, I think I pulled it together pretty well. I was on the ball by the time competition and warm up started. So after a dirty barbecue of bacon and eggs and sausage, so.
How good does that make you feel, though, right?
No, it doesn't.
What?
No, I hate it. No, I don't. I can't remember last time I woke up like that.
No,
hate
I meant
waking
how
up.
good it is bacon and eggs after
Oh.
drinking.
Meh,
You don't rate it?
nah.
What are you like?
Nothing.
What's your like go to hangover cure?
Fruit, actually. I just feel like it's a good combination of rehydration and filling your stomach up with something.
Like watermelon?
Yep.
Yeah, I like watermelon. Bananas.
Yeah, bananas.
Get some potassium in you.
Yeah, potassium.
Maybe some-
Magnesium.
Maybe some coconut.
Yeah, definitely. But we got there, and it was a fun comp, and actually pretty much all lifters did really well, and did PB for the ones that turned up, and actually lifted. Verity.
Well, good on them. I wanted to talk about what we were talking about before. And I've got this like sudden obsession, at least for my own training, and I'm sort of projecting that onto some of my athletes.
Yep.
In that, like, I want them to be athletes first and weightlifters second. Like, I want them to be able to do a lot of things. I want them to be able to feel and look athletic. And I just wanted to ask you about that, because you come from like an actual sporting background, like where you were in soccer and playing real sports, not like gym sports.
Not gym sports, yeah. Yeah, I think that's important. I think it's very important. I think it's something that people should instill in kids from a young age. I think it's too late to decide you need to be fit and healthy by the time you're 30, 35. Then it's too hard. So I think it's very important.
Wait, you think it's too late to start training at that point?
Yes, 100%. Kids should be training.
No,
training
I get
makes
that.
better kids.
I agree, but do you think it's too late?
Yeah.
I think it's never too late to start training.
No, okay.
Like-
When I say too late, I don't say too late that you shouldn't do it. I'm saying you should have done it before, but if you haven't, then you definitely should. So no, it is never too late.
Don't confuse people.
But it is too late if you want to be, let's say, the performance side of it, right? What I meant sort of more was you should have done it a long time ago. If you've gone to that point, you're now 30, 35, and you're like, I probably should do some training because I'm getting a bit overweight and I don't feel good. You've waited too long. So you do it now. Don't wait till next year, next week, next month. Like, the minute you realize you should have been doing something, then you should have done it years ago, and it's time to... Because by the time you got to that point, you're past the point of, it's gradually getting there. You've already gotten to that point where you should have done it. So you don't really notice when you're kind of getting overweight and unhealthy. You notice when you've gone too far and now you feel like shit.
Yeah.
So I really think that anyone that isn't doing that, and if you do have kids, then you should make a conscious effort to make them, guide them into some sort of sport and movement. It doesn't have to be gym, but some sort of sport, because it's so good for many, many aspects in life as well, I think.
Well, I disagree, because I've started coaching like more and more kids lately, and what I'm seeing is like that some of these kids do play sports, but they're not athletic. They're just playing sports and fumbling their way through it. Like, they don't know how to move well.
But that's okay, because it's about just being healthy,
Yeah, but what about injury? What about like moving so poorly that you're susceptible to... Because like just going out and playing, a game of rugby randomly or once a week or twice a week, when you have such poor motor patterning or motor skills that like you're putting your body at like such enormous risk whilst you're growing. I can see that as like a huge... And to be fair, like the kids I'm training are like, kids that have like ACL injuries and we're sort of like rehabbing them back to normal as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I say like they're post-op.
Yeah. So this is the argument that I have for sorry, just dropped something. This is an argument that I have to I guess the whole sporting and health community is we really need to remove this stigma of kids lifting weights and learning how to do stuff in the gym is bad for them. And I really wish that there was a way to get on a bigger platform to educate people to do that.
You mean bigger than the RAW Barbell Club podcast?
Like way bigger. Because that's where you learn how to move properly, in the gym with a coach that knows how to help you move properly.
Well, unless your sports coach is looking at movement, and I guess
they just don't have that time.
Yeah, well, they don't. Yeah.
And they just don't have that time. Their time is, okay, how can we make this team better and help them have fun? So there just needs to be I would prefer any soccer team football team, baseball, whatever it is, if they train 3 nights a week, make one of those nights dedicated to helping your children move better in a gym, you know? Because that's the thing that stops ACL injuries and muscle tears and all those injuries that are quite easily avoidable, is by helping them move better and get stronger. And we somehow need to remove this stigma that lifting weights stunts your growth, you know?
I think that's changing though. Like, do you
slowly,
still see that
just not
a lot?
enough, you know?
I know you train a lot of kids. Like, do you see that a lot?
It's a concern for every single parent that comes in, and it's like, I don't even know how many times I need to bang my head against the wall to get rid of it. Like, it's coming from somewhere. Where's it coming from? Because a lot of the strength and conditioning, I guess, community knows it, but why don't our general population? There's too many coaches out there that think if their kids lift weights, they're going to become slow and bulky. It's like, just crap. And it's disappointing to see, because, you know, so many of these injuries are avoidable if you teach people how to move properly, you know. So that needs to be a priority, 100%. More schools need to have gym programs. They need to have strength and conditioning coaches. I mean, the USA is obviously somewhat on the right path, where a lot of their...
Why do you say somewhat on the right path?
Well, because they still have a obesity epidemic, right? So obviously it's not completely and entirely working for their whole population, but their athletes are athletes from a very young age. So obviously they're on the right path. Now it's, I guess, trying to expand that to the wider population.
Yeah, that's fair. And when we talk about being athletic, we're not just saying like you need to play sport or you need to be able to juggle a ball or something. It's just that you need to be able to move in many planes of motion.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be able to walk forward, sideways, rotate, all of those things. But then you need some basic balance. You need some basic ability to you just need to be able to do things.
Yeah,
right?
like it's the old theory, I guess, of the coach isn't necessarily there, especially like a strength and conditioning coach, isn't necessarily there to create a session that leaves you on the floor passed out because it was so hard. Their job is to help you move more efficiently and safely, and I guess improve on all aspects of your movement and training. And there just needs to be more education on that. Like, I get a lot of general population come in to train, and I find it not frustrating as a coach because I have to put them through that, but frustrated for that person that they can't even control their hip hinge or spinal control when picking something up off the floor. You know, like having to cue, okay, let's get a nice straight tight back. And then you automatically see them drop their shoulders and they've got this round back. And then you're trying to explain to them what to do to fix it, but they themselves can't even figure that out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And
I'm sure you've had that before.
All the time. Like, you're just describing my day to me.
Yeah.
But, like, why does that piss you off? Is it because, like, you just expect everyone to be able to do that? Like, it seems like something that everyone should be taught?
Yes. I find it frustrating that people go through 30 years of their life before they figure out how to pick something up off the floor properly, because that's what we're meant to do. Like, we as a population are to move and pick something up.
Pick stuff up.
We should be able to pick something up without like destroying our back. So that for me it's like I said, I'm not frustrated at the person because that's not their fault. I'm frustrated that somewhere along the lines of the system, they've gone through school and sport potentially and work, and no one has taught them how to pick up something off the floor properly. You know, the simple thing of like cueing a squat, and they can't figure out what to do with their bum because their motor control is so poor. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, I just find that quite sad that that actually is a problem.
Yeah, I think most coaches, trainers, whatever, if they were listening, they're just sort of sitting there like nodding their head because they've all been through this.
Yeah.
They get it. They do. And it's just the general pop that might not understand that these things are,
Mm.
expected of them.
Yeah.
And should be expected of them.
Well, yeah, I
Because
mean,
and it's not that they're failing their bodies. It's that like society has failed their bodies, right? Like
well, society has failed massively.
they haven't been taught these things.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, something as simple as like you need to move a coffee table and you don't know how to pick something up properly. Like, how do you go your whole life without being able to pick up something that's relatively heavy and move it?
And then that leads, I guess, into the other thing is that pain is so normalized nowadays. Like people come up to me, I mean, even athletes come up to me and they say, "Hey, I'm not training today. I hurt my knee or I hurt my back."
Yeah.
And I say, like, what did it happen in the gym? Like, no. I'm like, what happened? Like, oh, I don't know. I just woke up and it was sore. And I was like, what have you done?
Something's wrong. Like,
yeah, like
you shouldn't wake up and be like, oh, this hurts.
Like troubleshooting or whatever. Like, there are things that you can do to just like troubleshoot yourself, or like, straight away, like make some decisions to remedy it. You don't have to live in pain.
Yeah,
and I
also-
mean, there are people. Sorry, just let me finish this point. There are people that are waking up every single day in agony.
Yeah,
and there are
it's not
things that
normal.
they can do, and it's definitely not normal. You do
And-
not have to spend the rest of your life in pain.
And normalizing feeling tired and shit. Like, that's the one that upsets me the most. Is that we have somehow normalized feeling like shit and waking up and being tired and struggling to get up and out of bed and going through your whole day feeling like shit. Like, there's a couple businesses around my gym and I like want to pull my hair out every freaking day. Like, I'm sorry if I swear, but I just get a little bit passionate about this. Like, I literally want to pull my fucking hair out because some person is now on their 5th Red Bull and their 10th cigarette right in front of my gym. And it's not that they're in front of my gym, it's that I can see how tired and sluggish and disgusting they feel. And they think that having another Red Bull is going to fix that. Maybe for 5 minutes, maybe. But like, that's not normal. Like, I don't wake up every day feeling like I need to have 7 energy drinks just to get through my day. And people that train with me don't do that either. We have built this society where people think it's like normal to feel like crap because of work. But it's not. It's because of our eating, sleeping, and training habits.
And work definitely plays a role as well.
Yeah, that's
But,
right.
It's all a balancing act, right?
Exactly. Like, if you're sitting down all day, get up off your ass for every like 60 minutes and go for a walk and have a stretch and go back to your desk. And
You can go have your cigarette while you go for a walk.
yeah, and you know what, like, I'm going to be blunt here. If you are in a job that does not let you have lunch because they're too busy and the pressure is on you too much, and that they can't let you get off your seat for 10 minutes every couple of hours because you're getting a sore back and your hips are shit, find a new place to work, because that's bullcrap. Like, you should not have to go through your day to get a paycheck feeling like that, and it's not normal and it's not okay. And I just wish that people would see that, because that's the old comment, like, oh no, my work hours are too long, I can't train. I don't buy it. I never buy it. Like, so if you've told me that in the past, I'm probably sitting here thinking, whatever. Like, you prioritize your time. You don't have. It doesn't have to be with me. It doesn't have to be with you. It doesn't have to be with anyone. But don't tell me that you don't have time to do something for your health. And if you don't, then you've got your priorities all wrong. Because there is no point having your paycheck if at 40 years old you're in the hospital waiting to find out if you're going to be alive in the next 10 years.
And I see that too. Like, I would hate for someone to work to earn a lot of money to then spend all of that money on their health.
Yeah.
I would rather make a little bit less money, take care of myself, and enjoy my life while I'm doing it.
100%.
While I'm around.
It is not normal to have like a whole stack of pills in your cupboard that you need to take every day. This one's for my blood pressure. This one's so that, whatever it might be to keep me alive. That's not normal.
What is normal though, Yannick?
Eating healthy, exercising. That's normal. And it should be normal. And if it's not, you've lost your way.
What about chasing down saber-toothed tigers and killing them with your bare hands? Is that normal? Or is that just manly?
No, that's what real men do. I did like 7 this morning. But I guess you get my point, right?
I do get your point, but it's also, I guess we have to take into account like what is the smallest amount of change that someone can make to significantly improve their life, because what you're telling them to do is the ideal,
Yeah.
but that might not be the case. So
Yeah.
what's
definitely.
the smallest thing that you can change to improve your life? Can you get to sleep half
Yep.
an hour earlier? Can you get to sleep 10 minutes earlier?
I'll give you a few.
Yeah.
Put your stupid phone away before going to sleep so that you actually sleep.
Yeah.
That's one.
That's a good one.
Because you shouldn't be like wide awake staring at a screen at 11:30 at night when you've got to be up at 6.
Yeah.
Stop eating crap food. Everyone can do that.
What constitutes crap food? Just
Processed bullshit. Sugar,
So,
energy drinks.
Fruit Loops off the table.
Probably put those away.
But my doctor said I have to eat more colour.
Yeah, well, probably not Fruit Loops. And that's, you know what, I'm sorry, that drags me on to my next point. Doctors, like, instead of someone coming in and you're like, okay, you got high blood pressure, let's take these tablets. How are they not sitting down and saying, you might want to clean up your diet a little bit, here's how to do it? Instead of thinking it's okay to eat like shit, but just take these tablets because that'll keep you alive for another 10 years. Like, anyway, that's a long story. We should probably do a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, and I think it'd be smarter to get a doctor on to talk about that stuff too, because
I have a really good one that we could actually bring on.
Cool, because
awesome.
we need to take into account the pressures of the medical system as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Rather than like it's not
not as simple as
it's not on the
100%.
doctor. It's
I agree.
We've got Medicare and things like that. The way doctors
the way
have
the
to bill.
system's worked out is basically get them in and out real fast.
Yeah.
And that's the fastest way. I get that.
Who's your doctor friend?
Well, one of my clients.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Urson. His cousin is a doctor. We've worked with him to help him lose 20 kilos in 2 months.
Fuck, let's get him on the podcast like next week.
Yeah, and he's actually, from the information I've been given, is really working towards just cleaning up all of his patients' diet as opposed to, getting him on pills and stuff like that. So I'd love to get him on, actually. That'd be really cool. And actually have a look at how the health system should run, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Tee it up. We now have the space to
let's do it.
To do that.
I can tee that up. Let's make it happen. But what were we talking about? Another simple thing. Get up early and go for a walk. And you know what? It's hard. It's crap. It's really hard for the first week or so to get up earlier than you should. But your body will thank you. No matter how hard it is for the first few times, your body will thank you. And if you can't do it before work, do it after work. Like, the amount of people that I've spoken to, members, clients, whatever it might be, who before training were like, I don't even know what I did with my life before training. Like, now my life is I get home from work, I get ready and I go to training. They're like, I constantly told myself I had no time for anything, but the whole time was being spent on TV or like something stupid like that. And yeah, sometimes it's hard. You get home from work, you just really don't feel like it. But you never, ever, ever, like, think of a workout you finished or a training session where you walked out feeling worse than you did when you came in. It just doesn't happen, Once the endorphins start running through the body, like, you just feel good. And you always walk out feeling better. So.
And just with that walk scenario, something that I think, do you know who Stan Efferding is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he always says, you have a 10-minute walk after eating. And that generally feels amazing.
Yep.
If you start doing that.
Talk to some psychologists. If you feel like crap and you are depressed, more than likely you don't have enough serotonin running through your body, because that's what makes us happy. So you need to do stuff that makes that happen. Exercise, laugh a lot, do those things. And if you're sitting at home on your own, you're probably not laughing.
Well, that's why I hang out with you so much.
I make you happy.
Yeah.
And just some small changes that we've made into some of our clients' life, and they're just feeling better than ever, and I'm feeling better than ever.
Staying on this athletic route, I want to talk about being athletic as a weightlifter as well, because we went off topic.
Yeah, we did go off topic
to talk about just general pop, but weightlifters aren't general pop. They're a special breed of people.
Bum, bum.
Yeah. And I think it's important for them to spend some time being athletic as well. You don't want to
Well,
just be able to snatch, clean, jerk, squat.
100%. I've said this from the minute I even started weightlifting, and you know I've been a big advocate of that. There's
Just bring it closer to you.
too many weightlifters, and you know what? If that's what makes you happy, that's fine. But when we're talking health-wise, I think it is really healthy for both your body and your mind to be able to do more than just snatch, clean and jerk and squat and pull. And if you're not, like, I mean, let's look at...
Should probably also be able to do a pull-up.
You should probably be able to do a pull-up. You should probably be able to do a box jump. You know the amount of, like weightlifters that have, like, oh, no, I've never really done a box jump. And I just want to, like, bang my head into a wall. Like, you've never jumped on a box. Like, what are you weightlifting for? The whole idea of weightlifting is to, produce a powerful athlete and a fast athlete, and you're not utilizing that, you know. And yeah, I think it's so important that...
What about weightlifters that have never done heavy deadlifts? Never done an overhead squat?
Just bang your head against the next snatch that you do.
I've done that. It doesn't feel good.
Look at the Chinese weightlifting team. Like, they are athletic, even up to their 109s, man. Like, they just look like they can move, you know. Love seeing training videos from, like, the Japanese weightlifters doing, like, massive box jumps and doing stuff like that. I saw a really cool training session with the Egyptian weightlifting team. I think it's on hook grip, and they're actually out in a football stadium, and their coaches, like, set up, like, circuits of, like, jumping things and running, and seeing their supers, like, be able to actually jump, like, really well was really cool. Running through sand and doing little circuit type stuff. I think it's very important that weightlifters be able to do things other than weightlifting. I think it's healthy for your mind too, because, you know, just doing the same thing over and over and over is just not healthy for your brain.
Oh, for sure. Hey, do you want to do some dune sprints with me one day?
Yep.
Because I've been wanting to do this for ages and I just haven't.
Can we?
Because there's, like, dunes close by, like, just across the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, because there's Windsor Beach just there, so we can run up the hill there.
Can we organise it through the podcast? Maybe not this one.
Yeah.
And see how many people we can get to turn up.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Let's go freaking wild. If all of New South Wales weightlifting isn't there, I'm so disappointed.
I don't think they'll come for running. They'll be like, run? Fuck that.
Doc, I better see your ass running up some sand dunes. If you are listening, you better.
Yeah, sorry, I went off topic.
Yeah,
again.
athletic, yeah, so athleticism for weightlifters. So yeah, I've always said that that's important.
And why is it important? Because
why is it important?
We've said things that we want to see people do.
Yep.
I guess from my point of view, I like them to be here not just for a short time, but here for a long time. Like, so I want longevity and being athletic.
Well, I like to say I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I knew I was butchering that quote, but, like, I want them to be able to do this for a while. I don't want them to just, you know, start a sport, get hurt, and leave it.
Because that's what hurts weightlifters. Like, the repetition of the same thing over and over again, the same weights, the same reps, the same this, that. That's why, yeah, exactly. Like, less injury, adaptability, and I just think it's important for your recovery as well to be doing stuff other than just weightlifting. And that recovery might be your body, it might be your mindset, but if you are fresh, and you're going to perform better.
And that variety that you're talking about isn't as simple as, like, oh, I'm not doing full snatches, I'm going to do power snatches for a while.
No, that is not.
It's
That's
like,
right.
no, you know what? You don't have to snatch, like, 5 times a week.
No.
How about you snatch once a week?
Yeah.
Just for a little bit.
And you can still get better
Yeah.
and stronger. Like, you don't have to be doing strength training every single day. In fact, if you're doing too much of it, you're probably hindering your strength because you're not recovering enough.
And so this is like the flip around to what we talked about at the start of the podcast. We were like, all these field sport athletes need to be spending time in the gym.
Yep.
All these gym athletes probably need to be spending time just doing other things, right?
Exactly. You know, I'm kind of doing... Well, it's something that I speak to most of my lifters about. Like, you know, you've seen my lifters. most of them jump in our WODs every now and then, simply to do different stuff. And I'm sort of have a lifter at the moment who's just going through a bit of a tough mental time, and my advice was, don't do weightlifting for like the next 5 weeks. Maybe by week 3 you'll really, really miss weightlifting and you'll come back to it. But just get out there and join our strength classes, you know, do our WODs, run around. And like, I think what's really important, I guess, when we talk about taking weightlifters away from doing weightlifting is like, learn to enjoy things again. Because like, I mean, it's bullshit if you tell me that you enjoy 365 days of snatching and clean and jerking and squatting. Like, there is going to be a time where you just need to hit refresh on your brain and do something different and, you know, be a kid again, just muck around, you know. And you can do that when you're doing some sprints with your friends and some pull-ups and, you know, racing each other for something, whatever it might be. Learn to do tricks, you know.
Well, you recently bought a skateboard, right?
Yeah, and that was part of it. I found myself just doing too much of the same thing. And I wanted to get back to being a bit of a kid, like I used to skateboard. So I got myself a skateboard again, and now I'm getting back out on the skateboard. And coordination's a big thing in weightlifting. But doing other stuff can help you train that coordination, you know, your hand-eye coordination.
And then obviously you can take that too far.
You can. And
like, I think I did that a little bit in that I haven't weightlifted properly for like almost 2 months, and
yeah,
you know,
which is okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll be back eventually, but
it's okay, especially like,
I am not very strong right now.
Do you have any like ambition to be on the world stage as a weightlifter?
No, I don't.
Well, then you probably shouldn't be weightlifting 365 days of the year. Yes, I'm exaggerating, but if you're not at that sort of level where you're probably going to be on an Olympic team, and let's face it, there's probably only going to be 2 people in Australia this next Olympics, you know, or Commonwealth Games team even, get out there and enjoy stuff. And even if you are that good, you probably still can get out there and enjoy stuff and still be really good. There might be some coaches who completely disagree with me right now, and that's fine, because I don't care. But for the health of the athlete, I think it's a great idea to be doing a little bit of something else. And, you know, if they really want to be super, super good at weightlifting, then that's fine. But there should probably be one day a week where they just do something a little fun and work on some other things other than moving a bar in
and to be
a
honest,
straight up and down
these
line.
next 2 weeks are a brilliant time to take off from weightlifting, right?
Yeah,
because we're
like
coming into Christmas.
Eat ham,
drink
beer,
wine, eggnog. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do.
go to the beach,
Yeah.
try to learn surfing. That's probably all I got for now. No, but there's plenty.
And on top of, so for those that don't know, we had a 30-day challenge here at RAW, and you had a 30-day challenge that you actually did with your members as well.
We had, no, it was a 6-week challenge.
6-week challenge.
Yeah.
So more than 30 days.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely more than 30 days.
Yeah. Dude, do you not know? That's like 40, ooh, I'm going to screw this, 42 days, 44
Something
days?
whatever, it
something
doesn't
like
matter. It's like 6 weeks.
Mm.
We did a 6-week challenge, yeah.
Anyway, that takes us on to the other side of being athletic as well, is feeling good in your body, but also looking good in your body.
Yeah.
Right.
Something that I've focused on a little bit lately.
And so I did this challenge, and surprise, surprise, I won. I just want everyone to know who listened to Harry's podcast.
You just wanted everyone in your gym to remember who the Adonis is.
I did. I wanted people to know that if they think that they can beat me,
Well, you can't.
if my head's in the game, I will. To be fair, the points were very close at the end, and I made some terrible mistakes. I lost too much weight, and a lot of my measurements actually went down. So I really had to fight to win at the end there. But dude, I went from like 81 kilos or whatever when I weighed in first to like 77 kilos.
Wow. So that's probably like a really good point to raise again when we're talking about weightlifting, because like this is a predominantly weightlifting podcast, but think sometimes you can quite easily get caught up as a weightlifter in like, oh, if I put more weight on, I can get stronger. But there becomes a point where that extra weight is no longer beneficial for you, and you're just going to become slow and sluggish and fat. Can we say fat?
Nah, that's shaming.
Obese.
Yeah, look.
But like, non-effective for your weightlifting, because speed's still very important. But
and I think where you carry your weight is important too, right?
yeah, and like your recovery as well, because if you're, overweight, you're not going to recover as well.
But definitely, like, extra muscle mass will help with recovery.
Of course, yeah, extra muscle mass definitely. But if you're just chucking on weight just to get stronger, yeah, your lifts might go up, but like, the important stuff like your strength to weight ratio probably isn't going up. Because if you stack on 10 kilos, but your total goes up by 10 kilos, you haven't gotten stronger. So yeah, like I think that's quite easily caught up in a lot of
And a good way
weightlifters
to see that is to just look at your Sinclair, right?
Yeah.
If your Sinclair is
Yeah,
going
yeah.
up,
Yeah.
then
So I went up a weight class. I think that's a good example. I went up a weight class, but so I went from 69 to 73, and I now train at about 74, drop a kilo at competition. So I put on 4 kilos. I think I did that well, so like, definitely muscle mass is up. But my Sinclair went up about 30 points. So
which is what matters, right?
Definitely got stronger. I put about 12 kilos on my snatch and about, training wise, 15 on my clean and jerk.
Hey, you almost cleaned 150.
Yeah, almost cleaned 150.
But almost isn't cleaning it.
No.
How far off do you think you are?
I've got it. I'll do it on the right day.
Were your legs tired that day?
I was a little bit cooked from training the day before, but I was also like alone in the gym, and I was like watching my videos back and just be like, oh, should I even go for 150, whatever. So I put on 140 and cleaned it so easily, and then I went 145, and that was pretty easy. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I just like remember for a brief moment looking around the gym like, oh God, I'm alone here and I'm about to try and get under 150 kilos. So I think I had already started to like, ooh, whatever. But yeah, like I think I explained to you not that long ago, I went through like a long period where I actually haven't cleaned over 130, 135 for a long time. And the whole idea was just getting better at clean and jerking. So through that and working on technique and doing them better, I let my clean, which was always a really strong thing for me, I let my clean go.
Yeah.
And I think it was purely just the lack of not cleaning heavy weights for a long time. I actually got under it surprisingly. So that video that I posted was actually my 6th attempt, which normally I wouldn't condone. 6 attempts at a miss, but I kept getting closer and closer every time I like went for it. And
I can't believe you went for 6 attempts when you were alone.
Yeah,
I would have done one and been like, can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah, I know. I even like got like the smelling salts out, and I just like tried everything. And there was one where I like got my hips past parallel. I was almost standing up, and I just let my it sort of just slipped off my left shoulder. I was in a singlet, sweaty, and it just didn't hold that front rack well enough, and it slipped off my shoulders right as I was about to stand up. And yeah, just by that point I got tired. But like I'm stoked. Like call it a miss, I don't care. Like I got under 156 times. It's there. So and that's pretty cool. That's over double body weight for me.
With your programming, you mentioned that you spend a lot of time programming just the clean and jerk separately. So that's something that I've been playing around with, in that I used to program clean and jerk separately all the time. And everyone in our club, like everyone's cleans were like really high and very good. Like, Kush has an amazing clean compared to a jerk.
Yeah.
And then Jack has an amazing clean compared to his jerk. And like I guess they're the 2 biggest examples, and they've been with me for the longest, right? So like, unfortunately, Kush is dead to me now, though.
Who's Kush?
Sorry, she doesn't listen to it. So,
Oh,
actually, she's found a club. She's training again.
so she's a trader.
Yeah. No. Well, like she needs to start lifting
No.
again. She's gonna.
You need to be lonely and work now that you've left RAW Barbell Club.
So
No,
I think
congratulations.
she has some big goals and big aspirations. She's gonna do her first competition in February.
How exciting.
Yeah. So
Are you still programming for her?
no.
Oh.
No.
That's probably good for her.
Yeah.
That's probably healthy.
I think it's probably probably the best thing that's gonna happen to her training
I agree.
is that
And not because you're a shit coach.
her partner is no longer
But
coaching.
yeah, it's just very easy for you to like question things when your partner's doing the programming.
100%. And
manipulate things.
And the
in
other thing is,
program.
like, an in-person coach is never going to, like, programming is never going to beat, like, someone that's there hands-on, being like, hey,
right.
like, this is what you do, especially if they're good. And she's joined a team, I forgot what the team's called, but that's producing a lot of good lifters in Vancouver.
Yep.
And
Did she move to Canada?
yeah. And it's gonna be amazing. So I really can't wait to see what she does.
Yep.
Though I'm pretty sure she's gonna cut to 49. I know.
Da-down.
Yeah. So we'll see what that does.
Yep.
But I'll make sure to give you guys updates on how she's doing. Maybe
What were
we
we
can
talking
even get
about
her.
again?
Cleans.
Oh yeah, cleans. Yeah.
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 Anyway, so I used to do that, and then because everyone's jerks were really bad, I started programming the clean and jerk together, and I've been doing that for this whole year almost. And everyone's jerk's gone up, and everyone is clean and jerking a lot, but no one feels as comfortable with the clean anymore.
Yep. That's what happened. So that's happened to me. So my cleans were. So actually, let's put this in perspective. So I'm going to give 150 another crack Monday.
Today? Now?
Monday.
Right now, after the podcast?
Definitely not today. On Monday. The reason I say that is last year I PB'd my clean, so to a year, was 140, and it was like grindy. And then I think it was a couple months later I got 142 or 143. So 145 was actually PB for me, the one that I just did. So yeah, I want to like year to the date compare my two cleans. But what was happening was, especially last comp, because I was ready, like my clean and jerks were on point. Now, I only cleaned 130, which was my opener.
Wait, you only hit your openers?
Yeah, like I never do that. It's usually 6 from 6.
How many times have you ever actually gone for 6 for 6?
Once.
Also, do you think it's that? I mean, for a beginner, yeah. Like, do you actually think it's important to go 6 from 6? Like, I'm happy with like 4 from 6, 3 from 6.
I think
I think 2 from 6 is not.
That's
good.
shit. Like, just walk yourself out of the gym.
What did you get this last comp?
4 from 6.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, like so.
But you got 3 snatches,
So
and then
yeah.
the one clean jerk.
Yeah, like yeah. So but what I knew was I knew it straight away first attempt that what had happened was doing so much technique work around 120, 125, 115. I hit that 130 and was like, okay, that clean was heavier than 130 usually feels. And for me, that's bad because we know my jerk's not the greatest. So if that mindset goes in to my mind as soon, like while I'm standing there regathering myself to go for the jerk, that's very bad. So I came to the conclusion as a coach athlete, I need to get my clean back up. So I started going on a program where I've just been cleaning, been jerking separately. But what I've done with the jerks, okay, so here's what I think is important. What I've done with the jerks is I jerk 4 times a week. I think it is.
Like the...
Yeah, like the weightlifting movement. But I do like complex with it. So at the moment, I've got a really tough complex, which is push press and then power jerk. And I do it 3 times. And with my split jerks, it's actually like front squat plus split jerk. So still training my jerk under a bit of fatigue. And then I have another day where I just jerk off the blocks.
Yeah, and it's hard to balance all of that, right? Like, you want to clean and jerk. You want to do like front squat plus clean, clean plus front squat plus jerk, all of these variations, and they all have their place, but it's so hard to like put them all together into a program and not just wear yourself out, right?
Especially if you're not a full-time athlete. So I just at the moment need to prioritize what's important to me. And look, everyone knows I can snatch clean. I just need to get the jerk better. But I think now that I've got my technique where it needs to be with my clean and jerk, I need to get that clean up and create a buffer from myself so that the clean isn't hard. So when I do go for the jerk, I can utilize my technique a lot more while my body is feeling a lot more fresh.
What time do you have to be out of here?
Like 2.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, sweet. Let's talk about this idea of variation, because you were talking about the need for variation in training.
Yep.
And we've just talked about like variations like cleaning and jerking, doing them separately, doing them with front squats and stuff. And you were mentioning that potentially there are some people that maybe perform too many variations.
Yep. So.
And I was like, I disagree.
There
should be 100% variation all the time.
So
conjugate for life.
Conjugate. So, conjugate, I guess, is not really my style. While I agree with variation, I think the timing of variation and adding variation is important.
And like for those at home, like you have to actually explain it because they might not know what we're talking about. You're talking about like, for example, if we take the squat, in Olympic weightlifting, you'll probably mostly see a back and front squat, potentially sometimes see an overhead squat, and small variations on that, which would be things like, like snatch balance is a type of overhead squat, I guess.
And maybe dead stop type stuff.
Dead stop, front squats, back squats.
Yeah. So I guess where it becomes a problem is, well, not I won't say a problem, but where a coach needs to be careful is what we're chasing is adaptation, right? So allowing our body to adapt to a certain stressor, which makes us stronger. And I just have a little bit of concern when I see some people doing too many different things with not enough structure, therefore allowing the body to adapt to a certain stressor.
Give me an example.
I'll give you an example. Week 1, banded squats.
Yeah.
I don't know, sets of 3. Week 2, 5 RM squat with chains. Week 3, all of a sudden we're now low bar squatting. Week 4, now we're front squatting. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think I've seen...
And do you actually see that?
I've seen that with some people where there's just like every week is something completely different.
And you're seeing that on social media?
Yeah, well, not necessarily social media, but some also just like people training. Because I have some people that train in my gym without following my program. And some people that just train, for example, that you talk to, and that's where I think there is a real issue.
See, like I could see, going from 1 week with bands to 1 week with chains because he's still doing the same movement. I know there's accommodating resistance and they're different types, but like I don't think, especially if you're using light bands.
Maybe if maybe if I change that up a little bit and instead of bands and then chains, it was like bands and then now we're box squatting.
Okay. Yeah, see that's more different.
That's probably a little bit more.
And then so for this particular athlete that you're talking about, we'll name him
Sir Change a Lot.
Okay. Sir Change a Lot.
Yeah.
So for Sir Change a Lot, what are his goals?
Strength.
So he just wants to get stronger for what sport? Or just in general?
Just general.
Okay, so like then is there that much of a problem? Like, because he's just adding in variety for variety's sake, but as long as he's tracking those metrics, does it really matter? Like if he's
Let's make it clear, I wasn't talking about a particular person, actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm just talking about in general, people mixing up. CrossFit's a prime example.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of CrossFit coaches that don't have some sort of like linear progression to their training, and it's like 1 week's a 10 RM, then it's a 3 RM, then it's a 5 RM, then it's a bloody 20 RM, and then it's like 3 sets of 5. You know what I mean? Like we need to. Your body needs to feel some sort of structure to your strength improvements. I mean, some of the best powerlifters in the world don't change up their squats like whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know? But there has to be variation as well, like we're talking about. But what I'm saying is there needs to be structure to your variation.
So you think there should be some sort of progression? Like,
Yes.
let's say you do 10 reps this week, you do 5 reps the next week. Oh, sorry, 10 reps for 2 weeks, then you do 5 reps, 3 reps.
Yep, that's right.
Reps,
So it's
like
some sort of structure. You know,
They just
maybe
needs to
you
be
do bands for 3 weeks, and then your progression is poor squats.
Yeah.
And then it could be, whatever it might be. So, well, not whatever it might be. You get what I'm saying, right? There needs to be progression to allow adaptation. So
and
that our body can
there
perform.
does need to be a method to the madness as well, in the sense that
that's the perfect way to put it. There has to be a method.
If you are doing banded squats, like, why are you doing banded squats?
Yeah, you can't just chuck banded squats in because you decided that looks cool. Like, there needs to be a reason.
Yeah, so a brilliant reason that you may use for banded squats is if someone has a sticking point, like where you stuck in that clean, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you were pretty much up there. It was just that last bit of standing up.
That's right.
So like banded squats may help with that. I mean, it might just be technical as well.
For me as a coach, what I would have what I will implement as I move forward, and can I just say I haven't front squatted in 6 weeks.
That's not good. You're a weightlifter. Shouldn't you be just squatting all the time?
Yeah, I only back squat at the moment. So my program will now move into more pull squats and 1 1/4 squats.
So like come up a little bit, go back down.
Correct.
And all the way up.
And some progression to that, but I won't deviate away from those too much. I'm not going to do pull squats week 1, banded squats week 2, box squats week 3, and whatever it might be.
Yeah.
There has to be, like you said, method to the madness. Don't just chuck things in for fun. Unless you want to, then whatever, go for it.
And that's the other thing. Like,
that's fine.
You should, but to be fair, like it depends on your goals. Like if you're having fun with it, like I've gone through stages where I've just done random things for a month or 2 at a time, and I had like that fun got me better as well.
True.
I was enjoying training. I was enjoying trying to PB new lifts.
Yeah.
So sometimes changing it up does help, but I completely see your point, because I would tell someone, well, I guess you see people come across from something like CrossFit where they've been just doing like random stuff, and they come onto a structured, weightlifting program, for example, and they're adding like 50 kilos to their lifts.
Yeah, and it's like it proves the point, right? Like, give someone a little bit of structure and they'll get damn good at it in a short period of time.
And then the key is for that CrossFit athlete is to make sure that they're getting enough variety to keep them within the sport, but also enough variety that they're having fun, and then enough variety that they're progressing at the other things that matter to them. For example, their fitness, their gymnastics, and all of those things too.
So, to cover that point, I guess coaching is bullshit and it's freaking hard.
No, I think it's the opposite of that.
We can never get it right.
It's that coaching is easy. You just need to know what you're looking for.
100%.
And you need to know what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
So that makes the athlete-coach relationship even more important, because you need to have communication of what you actually want.
Yeah.
And
you
what
need
the coach actually
wants. The ability to look at what's in front of you, because what's in front of you is a problem. It's always a problem.
Yeah,
it's
all
problem
of your
solving.
clients are problems, right?
That's right, and they all have some form of problem. I'm not saying that they are a problem, but what
I'm
it
saying
is
they are a problem.
you're all problems. Thanks. What you have is a problem, and it's our job to come up with the solution to the problem. Whatever that method might be, as long as you have an idea around why you're doing it, then that's your solution. And maybe sometimes it won't work, and that's okay. Maybe sometimes it will, as long as you can justify your solution to the problem. So if someone's back squat sucks and you're programming front squats, well, you probably got the solution wrong.
Do you though? Because like, what about for someone like me, whose back squat technically sucks, but it seems to be more of a quad strength issue? Maybe front squatting all the time might actually fix the technique on the back squat as well, right?
Or back squat more often while adding accessory work to improve your quad strength and activation.
And that's just like two different coaches going at it at different ways. So there's no
right or wrong, really. Well, I mean,
answer.
there might be. But yeah, 100%. Yeah, I guess my view is always, if you want to get good at something, then practice it. Yeah.
And so, like, when you say that, do you think that we need to be, because like we've gone all over the place today. First, we're telling like field sport athletes or like kids and just regular gym goers that they need strength training, they need to move right. Then we're telling people that lift weights that they need to move away from the specific lifts. And now we're coming back around and almost saying, yeah, you can move away from it, but you know you need to also be specific. So
yeah, but like I guess it kind of still makes sense when you put it in this perspective. Like, you need to practice things, but that doesn't mean it. Like, you've got 7 days of the week. That doesn't mean it needs to be every day.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be a healthy balance. You know what I mean? So find that healthy balance in what works for you. And as a coach, find that healthy balance in what works for the athlete. Sometimes you might need to go completely away from your usual theory for the sake of the athlete, you know? So if my view is, well, no, you need to practice this more often to get better, but I can see that mentally that's not good for them, exactly like you said before, taking them away from weightlifting for the sake of their mental health
or their longevity within
the sport becomes more important. So I need to take my pride as a coach away and then really think about what's right for the lifter or the athlete.
So a very mature way of looking at things, Yannick.
Yeah, again, looking at the problem that's in front of you and applying the correct solution. And whether sometimes that might not be what you would usually do, but you've got to make the right decision at the end of the day. Because that's what the athlete's looking for, is their coach's guidance.
Cool. I think that's probably a good place
Is that deep?
It was very deep. I think that's a good place to leave off. Where can people find you? Do you have anything coming up at the moment?
No, don't find me. I hate you all.
But seriously, where's your gym and how can people find you?
I have this place where you can train. It's called Shred Fitness and Shred Barbell Club. We're at 3 of 76 Sunny Holt Road, Blacktown. And you can find me on the social medias, Instagram, which is _shredfitness_.
Do you regret having that many underscores in your name?
Nah, there was like Shred Fitness taken somewhere else in like the US, and I was like, this is lame. How do I make it look good still? And on Facebook, just Shred Fitness. I've had a lot of fun.
Today or just
the whole year? What a year! These last few weeks have been awesome too. Just been in a really good place.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, we had a great comp.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about how my guys did in the comp.
What guys?
Oh, we had some athletes do your comp as well, you know.
I don't remember you.
We always come
What's your
out
name?
and support.
Yeah, no, like let's do another one.
Yeah, we should. Another comp or another podcast?
Another comp. Another podcast talking about the year that was.
I think we should get the others in too as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because I've had an awesome year, I think, as a coach.
What about as an athlete? A mathlete.
Could be better. Like, I did alright.
Yeah.
I think I finished the year like 4th so far.
Excellent.
Like, that's pretty cool. Really. It's alright. I have a lot of other stuff that I do.
Like being a daddy?
Being a dad.
Husband.
Coach. Husband. Running a gym. That's kind of cool.
Making cool t-shirts.
Oh,
can people buy those t-shirts?
No.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Not till the new year anyway.
But just show the people the t-shirt, because I really like this design.
It's so cool.
It's very cool.
It's a gorilla.
Yeah.
And it's sick.
All right, guys. You can find RAW Barbell Club at RAW Barbell Club on all of our social medias. So that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you're listening to this podcast.
You're on a lot of things.
We are on a lot of things.
I'm
We're
not
also
on
on
many
Snapchat and everywhere. If you love this episode or if you love the podcast, please go onto iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Tell us what you love about it. I read all of them. And just, tap your friend on the shoulder, give him a bit of a slap in the face, and say, hey, you should listen to the RAW Barbell Club podcast.
And my personal most important quote, don't be shit.
And sorry guys, just lastly, if you really, really, really want to support the podcast, you know that you can donate to the podcast. So that's just going to www.rawbarbellclub.com/donate, and all we're asking is the price of a coffee. So we would love to have you donate. You'll go into our donors page and we'll be sure to write you a personalized thank you. And guys, I'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye. I don't know if that recorded.
Imagine it didn't.
Oh, I'd be so pissed.
Huh?
I'd be so pissed.
Did it record?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. It's not